Oh, hey.
We're back.
Hey, how's it going? We're back.
We're in the studio. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Studio.
Oh, yeah.
Upgrades.
Big old studio upgrades.
Yeah, it's nice in here, man.
Yeah.
If only you could see it.
They provide us with drinks here.
Yeah.
Not alcoholic drinks.
As much milk as you want, baby.
It's just milk right out the
Open
faucet.
milk bar, baby. That's the way I like it.
Waiter, can I get a fresh milk, please?
Slides it down the long counter.
Give me a milk. Chocolate. It's Back to the Future. Yeah.
Haven't you had enough to drink, son? Is your fourth chocolate?
No. I need at least 7. Yeah, we're in a new recording space. We might get better microphone capabilities.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, maybe we just might. If we drink enough milk, we might be able to get some new mics and some new systems.
This is the new year, new decade. So
New decade.
we were required by our contract to actually change up the show. Now it's not exclusively movies because of the higher ups. They're forcing us to broaden our horizons
That's right.
and expand.
Additionally, you're probably listening to this on YouTube because SoundCloud is a little problematic at the moment. So you'll probably hear this on YouTube. There'll probably be something on screen right now. Yeah, until we can figure out how else to do that, it'll probably be a YouTube thing. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah.
But we got stuff on our mind, and we got a microphone, and we got a way to express that. So yeah. We usually do like news and stuff, but I don't really have any specific news, so we can just sort of jump into things and see where we go.
Yeah, I mean, I got some talking points here.
Mm-hmm.
Justin?
Yeah.
Did you know that Joseph Stalin had a cannibal island in the remote corners of the Soviet Union back in the day?
I was not aware of his cannibal island. I
Yeah,
was aware of some of his other travesties. I didn't know.
Oh no, this was like horror movie stuff, dude. Like real horror movie stuff. Like basically, Stalin was like, "Hey, I'm gonna send all these people, to this island, basically, and this island gulag." But he didn't tell anyone. Like he wanted an island gulag there, and he just kind of started sending people there. So everyone was like, "Hey, what are all these people doing arriving here?" And they're like, "They're for the gulag." And they're like, "We don't have it's gonna take us like a year to build the gulag."
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Oh, I guess we'll just throw all these people on the island." And so like they put all these people on the island, and like the guards were like messing with them and stuff, and then they just ended up like sinking into depravity from starvation and eating each other, and then any newcomers on the island would just get either eaten or driven insane. This went on for like 6 months until they
So
word got back pretty slow, and they're like, "Whoa, even for us, this is woof."
So it was not Stalin's intention to have it be a cannibal island.
No.
He just kind of was like, I'm going to send these people here and figure it out later.
Yeah.
And then it just happened to devolve into cannibalism.
Yeah. Because I never really figured it out.
Well, that's messed up, Stalin. I hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah. That cements you, man. You're the lowest.
That's the stuff,
Number 1 on my list of top 10 worst
people
dumpsters.
Yeah.
Of life.
That's some, I wonder what it'd be like if you taught that in high school. If you just had a day to learn about that.
Yeah, I mean,
because you learn about Stalin, you never really learn about. They're not just Stalin, everybody. Like they're really bad exploits and endeavors into the horrible.
Yeah, I think it's valuable information, especially the kids these days, they love their hammer and sickle. That's good. It would have been valuable information for them to have that. The guys that they look up to might not be some of the most dapper gentlemen that ever walked the face of politics, but
Yeah, exactly. And by kids loving their hammer and sickle, I assume, of course, you mean their Fortnite pickaxes.
Of course, and their Well, they have hammers too for building
Oh, they do?
the houses.
I've never seen a hammer in Fortnite.
Yeah, there's a hammer.
I've
right?
also played Fortnite once, so.
Don't you pull out a hammer when you build everything? When you go to build mode?
like when you go to. Yeah. Yeah, I think you do.
Oh no, wait, no.
No, you pull out a blueprint.
No, and then you pull out a hammer.
Sure. You pull out a bunch of wood.
You know, we're not talking about Fortnite.
We're not. This isn't the Fortnite podcast. Don't misconstrue it. But yeah.
Some other talking points. I have a call to our listeners.
Okay.
Don't watch the Oscars this year, guys.
Don't watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to watch the Oscars?
I think we need to just give them a break for a little bit. Just let everything die. Just let them know that no one cares. That you know, make them realize like, oh, maybe we're not so big of a deal. You know, the Hollywood people, and then just as a little.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Everything's going downhill. We might as well just kill them.
So kill it more because you want to like deflate their ego, that people would tune in to watch them give awards to each other.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, and I mean it's dying as it is. I'm gonna watch it this year, at least in bits and pieces, just because I like keeping up with that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting how wrong they get so many things.
Yeah.
So many things have been snubbed this year.
That's the other thing. It's just not a credible.
No, it doesn't.
They like pass it off as so credible, and it's like we need to show them, you know, remind them it's not credible, and that no one actually cares what this picture.
Mm-hmm. But it's on its way out as it is right now, just because nobody has cable anymore.
Yeah, thank goodness.
And it airs, what, like, I think it's exclusively ABC now. I think they signed a deal with ABC, so it's just ABC. But, like, you know, if you...
Are you getting Kimmel again?
No, there's no host.
30th time?
Do you remember that? There was no host last year.
Was there?
No, there was no host. It was going to be Kevin Hart.
And then he got fired.
And then he stepped down, actually, I think. It was something. But they, like, found tweets of his from the classic maneuver. They found tweets from his years ago.
Classic maneuver.
And then he, like, stepped down or they fired him or both. I don't remember. But they didn't have a host. And so it worked so well, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see it. But they're doing it again. Which I think is fine because sometimes, you know, hosts used to be fine because it was like Billy Crystal, people that like actually had personality and they could like carry a show for a while. Ricky Gervais doing Golden Globes. Even like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Sometimes, you know, it depends, you know. And there have been a lot of wrong hosts in the past, so I feel like they just don't want to risk that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's already on its way. Like I feel like in like literally in like 2 or 3 years, I think the Oscars are going to be on a streaming site or something. Like you'll have to get Disney Plus to watch the Oscars or something like that. You know.
Yeah. Still no one's going to tune in.
More people might honestly if it's like that. Or it'll be like
I feel like they've kind of over the years people have just been like, what is this? Like every year people just more and more like screw the Oscars.
Yeah. It's just because it kind of poses as being more connected now more than ever to like what people actually like, because they'd be like, oh, here's your one nomination for The Lighthouse, which is great. I'm glad it got cinematography, which is great because that movie shot really well.
Should have got best picture.
Should have got best like everything. But
best acting.
That's the thing. You can't even like really take it into too close. You know, if you're The Lighthouse, if you're Robert Eggers and those guys, I wouldn't be too offended you didn't get nominated for an Oscar. It's a bummer, but like in your heart that your movie's gonna get remembered more than Ford v Ferrari or The Two Popes or whatever.
Yeah,
movies that like not a lot of people saw.
Oscar bait, but
they're Oscar-y, so they got nominated. But like Lighthouse, Honey Boy. There's some that break the gap, like Parasite, I think is a great movie and a good Oscar movie. But it also like only got picture and director. Actually, got a few things, but like none of the actors or anything like that. Yeah,
shame.
I don't know. Those darn Oscars.
I just know where it's going. You see all the deepfake stuff? Soon they're going to be able to make 100% computer-generated actors with no controversy. They're just gonna start watching people that don't exist.
Well, they're doing that with oh, you mean like completely new people?
Yeah, just like
That's some 1984 stuff right there.
like just like they can make them appealing to different people groups and different. Literally,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you could have someone that appeals to like rural white people. You have someone that it appeals to your more maybe your people in New York, your woke New Yorkers, or
Right.
your woke LA guys like these actors a lot because of this face stuff that these people tend to like or some wombo jumbo wacky whoop.
Well, they're doing that, not that exactly, but they're doing that with James Dean. You know about that?
James Dean?
Yeah, there's this movie that's coming out in like a year or two, and it was like an old James Dean film that was going to be made, and they never filmed it because James Dean died after like 3 films. But they just got the rights to it, so they're going to do the movie, and they're going to completely computer generate James Dean into the movie. Like, from the ground, no base footage at all. They're just going to make a James Dean and make him the main character of the movie, and then have, like, some guy voice him and all that stuff. So James Dean's going to star in a movie in, like, 2022, and everyone was so mad about it. It got announced, and people were like, nah, I don't think that's how you go about that one.
They're going to get wild. See, that's why they'd make people that don't exist, because you wouldn't have to deal with, like, morality of... It's just literally just like a programmed person.
Kind of like those that one Japanese, you know that one?
Yeah.
Those like anime.
Yeah, those AI anime things.
Yeah, where it's like,
exactly.
oh, she's Vocaloids.
And they're super popular too.
Yeah.
Like over there, like
huge.
Come on, the general public is stupid enough to like that.
Yeah.
to like something that's that mundane.
It's all about the
fake celebrities.
It's all about the gorillas. You gotta bring dude. I'd watch a movie with those guys in it, with just like a bunch of like 2D and
2D
Murdoch and all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd watch the heck out of a movie.
Gorillas are different.
They're different because that's like totally the gimmick of what he wanted to do.
I got some more.
Yeah, Oscars.
Some more stoof for you. I got Dune 2020.
Dune 2020.
Do you see the some of the reports on some of the test footage and stuff?
No.
So they did like some test screenings of like a bunch of footage, and like every reporter who like said anything about the test footage was just like, oh my god, like tears, like it's beautiful, like it's literally beautiful, like it's shocking, like amazing.
Well, that's the boy, is Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry.
Which then I don't think they're gassing him up either. Like he knows how to visually stun.
Yeah. Blade Runner 2049 was like the best looking movie
I think I've ever seen.
in for certainly years. I think they're certainly most dazzling, like effects wise and all that.
Oh, I felt like Blade Runner 2049 like really just felt like a whole other world.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah,
it's the most
felt very coherent and like nothing felt like yeah you could tell that's fake or like that doesn't quite fit in.
It totally is. Roger Deakins shooting Dune?
I think so.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure.
If he's shooting it, then that's got to be part of it. Because that dude knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's Timothy.
My boy, Timmy Chalamet.
Finally, we get someone to play Paul that doesn't look like they're 25. So that's cool.
Oh, the cinematography is by Greg Fraser. He has done Zero Dark 30, Lion, Rogue One. Oh, he did Rogue One. Okay, that's a good looking movie. He's doing the Batman movie, like the new Batman.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
That's gonna be a good one. Anyway, side point. Yeah, Dune 2020. I still have to read the rest of Dune.
As I seed. For all you pups out there who don't know, read Dune. Just do it. Just do it.
Get on it.
Don't be foolish like Justin.
No, I want.
Don't waste your life. Read
what
Dune.
What are you talking about? I'm not wasting my life.
You're not wasting your life, but you should be reading Dune.
I should be reading Dune.
No.
I'll get into it as soon as I finish Kill Bill Volume 2.
It's a movie.
I know. As soon as I finish watching that 2-hour movie, I'll read.
I'll read that 20-hour book.
Yep. Books are long.
Man, you're telling me.
Books are long. You just open a book and it's all there.
It is, man. I mean, my philosophy, if it's under like 800, it's not good.
If it's under 800, it ain't good.
Yeah. No.
Are you telling
Actually,
me?
I'm an honest margin is I like about like 500-600 pages is like a good sweet spot for a book to actually be a good one. Anything shorter than that is short.
Are you dissing the Giving Tree right now?
Yeah, I'm dissing the Giving Tree.
Are you dissing Calvin Hobbes? Shel Silverstein? Green Eggs and Ham?
You didn't name one novel, bud.
I'll name you a novel. Ready?
Yeah.
Here it comes. Cat in the Hat Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I really don't mess with. Man, young adult. Ooh, that's a genre that got real bad real quick. I mean, I went back and saw some of those books that I used to like. I was like,
the only one that stands up is like Harry Potter. But it's because like there was clearly a coherent idea and it was all a good idea.
That's like Harry Potter's just one of those things that just hit a note, like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It just hit a note with everybody. Like it was one of those, like literal in the literal sense of the word magical. Like no pun intended or anything.
Yeah, but it was really entertaining. There were solid characters. You read back at some of the books, you can see ideas that don't end up panning out for books to come, written years later. So clearly J.K. Rowling, as kind of, you know, as the person.
She was a beginner author too. I mean,
yeah.
It's always an interesting thing watching an author like grow.
Yeah.
Like starting out the first book in the series is tiny, and then they get more confidence, and then they go longer and more.
But she's also like one of those authors that clearly had like one good idea.
Yeah. Oh,
sure. She was like, I like Harry Potter, and I'm going to make it a book series, and there's going to be 7 of them. And there's going to be 8 movies to go along with it. And people went along with it, and then they said, okay, what's next, JK? She was like,
Here, look at this dumpster fire.
Yeah, read this new book. It's like a fan fiction, basically, but I officiated it.
I like kind of glanced over what the guy sent me in email form.
Oh, and everything's wrong. Everything you know in the original Harry Potter books is wrong.
Yeah, we exchanged all the information over AOL to make this book.
And here's some Fantastic Beasts movies. I know you guys wanted these really bad, so here you go. JK, stop. So that's tragic. But like Hunger Games, you mean?
And there's no shame as an author either, just like writing 40 books in the same world.
Yeah.
Like there's no problem with that. And plenty of people who've done it and done it very well have just like been like, this is my golden idea. I'm gonna flesh this out. Like she could just make another series. She can make 10 more series. Like who cares?
She could, but I think it's
a universe that could be expanded upon.
Yeah, but like she's so connected to the franchise of it, you know?
Yeah.
And like that's how things are nowadays anyways. You couldn't make like a Harry Potter prequel movie unless it had like, oh, and there's Dumbledore, you know? Like none of that. Like I want to see like a Harry Potter prequel where like you don't know any characters. You go
like it's just Mondabat, John's Bois, and you're like it's like 1874 and you're like, huh?
And like maybe one of them goes to Hogwarts and like that's it. You know, like no one's like, this is my son, Hagrid. Like, he's look how young he is. You know what I mean? Like none of that. That's not the way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I just make what about some Tom Riddle stuff? That was my favorite part of the 6th book was just like his whole backstory, like of Voldemort. It was just so cool. It was
I'd watch a Voldemort thing.
Like luring the kids in the cave so he could kill them all. Like what?
Oh yeah, good old Harry Potter.
It's too late though now. She's too full of herself.
Way too far gone.
That's the thing is the best authors are the ones who kind of keep distance from all the fans and they're very closed off. Like I'm just writing the book. Don't bother me. Stay away from me. Like the art stays pure instead of like, oh, I want to know what you want in the book. Fan, it's like people don't know what's good.
Unless you get too absorbed in the book, and then you're George R. R. Martin, and then you can't escape. The
I,
book.
you want to hear my George R. R. Martin theory?
Sure.
George didn't get too absorbed
I'll rephrase that, but you keep going.
in the book. You know, but or in a way, George messed up. George pawned his series off to TV before it was finished, and he royally messed up by I think he kind of revealed all his cards to David and whatever their names are, and they just kind of like showed all of his best stuff, but ruined it because they didn't, put it together in the correct manner. And now he's scared. He's quaking in his boots because he's like, if I write this book, everyone's just gonna be like, oh, it's just as garbage as the show. George R. R. Martin sucks, and then he won't be a good author anymore. Like at this point, like his reputation's still good, but once he writes that next book that he knows everyone's gonna not like because they already don't like it,
Yeah.
it's over. Sorry, George.
Yeah, I don't know what I meant to say when I said absorb. I think I just meant that, like, I literally have no idea what I meant. I'm not even going to try to rephrase it.
Yeah. I don't even know if I don't even know how to read it.
I don't know. Well, that was our book tangent.
God, I hate that guy.
How did we get here? Dune. We were talking about Dune.
Here. Last thing, if you liked Game of Thrones, and you're trying to pick up some literature along those veins, don't read the actual series. Read Malazan Book of the Fallen. That's like Game of Thrones for big boys, all right? That's Game of Thrones for adults. And I know what you might be saying.
Now hold on.
Ethan.
Game
of Thrones, like the most adult thing that ever was. No.
Oh, no.
This will look like a little boy playing in a sandbox with his action figures. The Red Wedding is gonna look like a cakewalk, like a beautiful ceremony that worked out just fine and dandy compared to what you're gonna read in this book, baby.
So Lord of the Rings is Game of Thrones for babies.
Lord of the Rings is
its own thing.
Yeah.
But like if you were to explain it to like a person who never explained, I was just trying to.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of it's for all ages.
Well, yeah, but like
Game of Thrones for all ages.
A game for all.
I love saying something from the past is a different version of something from now. Mm-hmm. Like Lord of the Rings is Game of Thrones for babies.
Yeah. The lights just turned off in the studio. I think they just shut our power off.
Anyway, what were you getting at? About Lord of the Rings?
Oh, I was just. Babies? I'm gonna yell it because I'm gonna go turn the lights.
Okay.
I was just saying that Lord of the Rings is like a tame-ish Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And then, so Game of Thrones is then a tame-ish this other thing. I forget what it's called already.
Yeah, I'd say like it's comparatively like Game of Thrones would be something like Treasure Planet,
That's a movie, right?
And then Malazan is more along the veins of comparatively in the length from Treasure Planet to something like a Tarantino flick, like Pulp Fiction,
okay.
like
yeah,
it's the peak.
Got it. Okay. Solid.
We got confused there for a sec. It's like kids.
Just a little bit. Don't worry. We're rusty.
But don't worry. Kevin Spacey's killing people. He's picking them off one by one.
Don't worry. Kevin Spacey's an actual murderous serial killer. For real.
You heard it from us. We only get the best sources.
You remember when like Seth MacFarlane and all them would or no, who was it? It was like Norm Macdonald when he was making all the Michael Jackson jokes about him being like a pedophile years before like recently, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you watch his old stuff on Weekend Update. He'd say stuff and then you look at it now and it's like, oh yeah, he's kind of right. That's us right now. Kevin Spacey is like a murderer.
He's a serial killer.
And he's gonna, yeah.
You saw the videos. We don't have to talk about the videos, man, but come on.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I don't know about that one, Kevin. That's not the PR move I would do.
You know what I think? What should I do to get everyone off my back about thinking that I molest young boys? Oh, I know. I'll release a cryptic video where I do the voice of Frank Underwood, the nefarious, murderous political psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that voice and talk about killing people with kindness.
Hey, that's a good idea right there. But hey, you know what would make it even better? If if you was doing it by a fireplace.
And then we did
stoking the flames as you
with spooky sound effects.
The default iMovie suspense
Yes.
noise 7. Yeah, that's the guy, Kevin, right there.
All right, now I got our main topic for you, Justin.
Oh, okay, the main topic. All right.
It's another call for our listeners. Would you say our goal in this show is to enrich the masses?
Yes.
And
to make money.
Yes, money, lots of money.
Don't forget about making.
Donate to our Patreon at 1-800-Patreon.com/Patreon/YouTube. /YouTube. That was me. /Joe YouTube.
Yes.
So I'm gonna tell you guys, stop watching meaningless consumerist cannon fodder, dude. Like, people just you guys gotta stop watching all this media and listen to this music and just doing this stuff that's so.
Are we going off in this bit?
So fluff, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, just it's like tofu. It's like it's like, what's the 7th run through of The Office really gonna teach you?
Yeah.
No one's challenging themselves anymore. No one wants to be uncomfortable when they watch a movie.
Yeah.
Wait.
I agree. I very much agree. People who, sort of live and die by the same 2 shows that are just sort of lighthearted comedies. There's nothing wrong with liking The Office. I'll say there's nothing wrong with liking The Office.
I love The Office.
You can like what you like. The Office is still a funny show. But, and this is not just to single out but when people sort of just are like, this is the thing I like because it's not innocent, because The Office isn't innocent, but I know everything that will happen. It's appealing. I
know every beat, every line is already in my brain.
I can encyclopedically quote everything from The Office. Nothing is new to me. I just relive the same old things. Do you really want to relive the same old things? Do you not want to watch something new? And that's what every cable show on NBC did after The Office. Parks and Rec did it effectively, but then everything was filmed like The Office.
Yeah.
For no reason. The Office had a reason. It was like a mockumentary. Sort of, initially. Everything's filmed like The Office now. And this, but to go back to your point, where people just say, this is the thing I like. I won't be challenged by any media. It's why Marvel movies get really popular. I was talking to my brother, Owen, the other day. And
Jamie?
I was talking to Jamie the other day.
Hey, pull that up, Jamie. Hey,
oh my gosh, pull that up, Jamie.
Jamie, are you serious? Is that real?
Did you see the dude? Did I show you that video, Joe?
No, I didn't watch it yet.
He's it's a 19-second clip. You'll watch it later. It's really funny.
Anyway, back to Owen.
Yeah, we were just talking about Marvel movies. He wasn't disagreeing with me, but I just wanted to bring a point to him about what I was thinking. And I was like, hey, Owen, what did you learn from Ant-Man and the Wasp? What was one thing you learned from that movie? Or I was like, what is the message of Ant-Man and the Wasp? He's like, I'm not, I was like, okay, I'll give you an easier one. What was the message of Thor Ragnarok? I hit him with another Marvel movie.
Yeah.
One's better. He's like, oh, okay. You're not defined by, your possessions, your powers from within, that kind of stuff. He gave me, 3 things that were, clear, understandable morals from that movie. He's like, okay, now tell me what you learned from Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's like, I still don't know. I think that's what Scorsese's talking about when he's saying Marvel rides are like theme parks.
Yeah.
Because Pete and Ant-Man and Wasp made $1 million or whatever. Because people just want to go and not have to think in a movie with things that they recognize, like Ant-Man or whatever, and just see them do more stuff that they've already done before. And I like Marvel movies. I think they're fine. Some of them are great, but I guess I'm getting a little bit of fatigue in that vein.
Yeah, and I think a perfect is listen. You can enjoy, you can indulge in meaningless, this and that. That's fine. But like, that's the thing is, that's all people are taking in. That's all they're just watching the same shows again on Netflix or this. You show someone a movie that's kind of out there, and they're just like shocked. They're like, "Whoa, I can't handle this. Like this movie makes me so uncomfortable. Like the plot isn't structured in the traditional 8-step hero's journey format. I'm unable to comprehend what's happening."
Yeah, and there's movies that are great that are like that. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite movies ever. All three of them. And that's a very very like by the books as far as story type, because it was written a long time ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of stories just take from Lord of the Rings. So when you watch it, you're like, oh, this format seems familiar. It's because everything else is based on it.
Yeah. But even like Lord of the Rings, has a lot of really good philosophical messages about like changing the world and doing your part and serving the greater good.
But like I mean,
like a good or like take a Marvel, right? You couldn't like a Marvel movie doesn't challenge you. A Marvel movie, you come out feeling like was, fun time or whatever. Like a good example of a movie that challenges you, a good film to watch that can enrich your mind and your experience. A good recommendation from you, Justin. Blindspotting.
Blindspotting.
That was a movie I felt one of the few times I've watched kind of a modern movie that tackles kind of racial issues. It's rare that I feel like they really have a unique message to send. Something that's actually I've never thought of that before, or that's a very interesting point. I think I'll think about that differently when I think about race. It's usually these like a bad example would be Crash. Just like
right, Crash, and that's
no.
Racism
sucks. Like instead, like Blindspotting was like I don't know, like seeing something like even like a white guy in Oakland and seeing how that affects someone and like really getting. I don't think I've seen a character like that. The white trash guy, the white guy trying to be the black guy. I'm not gonna say the term, but you don't get that character. That's not. No one cares about that guy. People don't like that guy, and it's like, oh, he's in here like. So it's different.
It's like the best movie I think I've seen so far about identity. Not just racial identity, but just like your perception of people. What you make judgments about certain people, and it is about race. That's a huge part of it.
Yeah, but not in a standing up there waving their finger. No. Oh, you racist pigs, you dogs, you heathens, from the screen, and you're sitting there like, please.
And like, if it was presented in a in like a normal way, if the film was just like wide shot conversation, it would still get points across, I think. Yeah. But the way it's made is there's like weird like rap monologues that both the characters have, and they're both
like modern cultural interjections and stuff within there.
And those monologues are awesome. It's like some of the best scenes I've ever seen in my life. And there's like weird little like aside just of them interacting with the culture and trying to, do. It's a good movie first, Yeah. And then it also happens to tackle all these really, interesting issues from a good perspective that feels really fresh and original.
Yeah.
But so I said you should watch Blindspotting.
Because one more thing about.
Go ahead. I'm gonna.
The second movie you recommended to me, I cried during. I shed a tear at the
Uh-huh.
scene where he is on the phone with her. And he's oh god, and you know what I'm talking about? He's talking
In
about
Blindspotting,
Like it's actually the part
where
where they
he's
talk about blind spotting. And
yeah,
he's like, "Do you see when you look at me? Do you just see the fight?" I was like,
I know.
"Woo,
David
woo,
Diggs,
woo, wee."
excellent in that movie.
Yeah. No.
Tying back to the Oscars.
Wait, what else did you recommend?
Good Time.
Yeah, I cried during Good Time as well. So that's 2 for 2.
Good Time is.
Not a good time.
We'll talk about Good Time later. I got a lot to say about Good Time. But Blindspot, like, yeah, I brought it up in class like 2 weeks ago because my teacher was like, "What's one piece of media that affected you?" And a lot of people were like really sentimental reasons, you know. They were like Wizard of Oz.
12 Years a Slave.
Oh, I just watched 12 Years a Slave the other day.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's actually amazing.
Yeah, no, I figured.
That one I almost cried at. I teared up at that one. But like, you know, it was like very sentimental things, and I was like, I just watched Blindspotting like a few months ago. That movie was amazing. My teacher was like, "What's Blindspotting?" Well, let me tell you, and I just
It's about this guy. Like,
but like, you know, I show you Blindspotting because I know you'd appreciate it. If I showed, you know, Joseph, the Office, walking down the street in his with his hydro flask, just like, oh boy, I sure can't wait to listen to the new Kanye album. Like, just
Jesus is king. Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Yeah, I got to give up my blessing. And
Hey, but I'm an atheist.
hey, but I'm an atheist for real though. Hey, Kanye goes hard, but like, I don't believe in God, but like,
Yeah, I hate God. God's
hey,
stupid, but I don't believe in him.
When he start,
but I hate him.
rapping,
he don't exist. Oh, but I hate his guts.
hey, he ain't real though. But like, I don't like that dude.
Hey, good dude.
When that dude walks around, I'm like, you want to watch a good movie? You watch Blindspotting. He's like, who's in it? And I'm like, actually, you know what? That one's fine because you can just be like the dude from Hamilton. The dude from Hamilton's in it. He digs. But then you show him it, and he's like, this is hard to understand. I have to think about the movie. And like,
wait, why did they put a little clip of something happening that was just music that wasn't associated with the movie? What was the plot?
The credits rolled.
That was fine. That was mise en scène.
The credits rolled, and I'm still thinking about it. This is wrong.
Like, yeah. Wait,
that's not how it works.
The movie wants me to think about it afterwards.
That's not how it works.
This is terrible. It should have had all the thinking done 5 minutes before it ended.
Why didn't you just tell me everything? So that's my problem.
Open-ended, it sucked. I get to decide how it ends based on what I got out of the movie. That sucks.
Yeah. Blindspotting, 5 out of 5. All that to illustrate that there are movies out there that are really good. I think Blindspotting is even like a more accessible one. There's some out there that are great, but maybe it's harder to get into those. I think Blindspotting is a really good start to get you into movies and start thinking.
Yeah, but not Lynch. Lynch ain't the start.
Don't start with Lynch.
don't
people
watch David
there are
Lynch.
some people out there, film people, that will tell you go watch David Lynch movies.
You gotta work it up.
You gotta work there.
You gotta get their levels up.
You can do some. You can do some Twin Peaks. We've talked about Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is a good ease into Lynch. If you watch that and you're addicted, then watch the rest of his stuff and maybe you'll.
Mm-hmm. Although the return gets really weird. So.
Oh yeah. And then I think the final point of that I'd say is don't only watch things that are pandering to you. Okay, don't watch things that are just appealing to the widest audience that the producers can fathom.
Yeah.
And fill their creations with what they think people will want. Mm-hmm. Don't watch things that are telling you what they think you want to hear. Like, why would you want? What's the value in that? What's the point in that? Watch something like Blindspotting that's challenging, that tackles stuff like, police and colored people and all this kind of stuff. And like, that's a hard question. That's a hard thing to watch. That's uncomfortable. Like, a lot of people don't want to watch that. It's like, that's the kind of stuff you do got to watch. The stuff that's going to make you raise new questions and maybe even change your mind. Yeah.
And we talked a lot about movies that do that. Talked a little bit about shows. There's great shows out there that, like, again, there's things of all of them that can do both. Breaking Bad comes to mind right away.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad is a really great fan, crowd-pleasing show for a lot of people because it's so popular. Because it's got a lot of really great stuff in it.
Yeah.
but also it brings up a lot of really great questions about like morality and like being a good person versus a bad person, how far you're willing to go for family, and then how much of that is like for your own self gain, especially with Walter White and that character. Like that's a really well written show first,
Yeah.
and it also happens to have a lot of stuff that people are really attracted to.
And also, despite the fact that it's popular, they always did what they wanted. Like, because you could always the show's a complete downward spiral. Like people don't naturally want that. They don't want things to go badly. If you listen to people what they wanted, they want happy endings and good stuff. You wouldn't have gotten any of the great things from that show because those are all risks. Those are all things that the average person wouldn't necessarily want, but it's just better for the story.
Yeah. But and then like going off that, like I hate to throw The Office under the bus more, but it's so easy because everyone loves it. What's one thing that you like learned from The Office? What's like a lesson you learned from The Office? You don't learn any lessons from The Office. Maybe you learn some vague ones about like relationships or whatever.
But like,
you mostly learn plot points. You learn information rather than like application. Ooh, bars.
Ooh,
bars.
Yeah. Bars.
Music is the same way. I've been asking people this question for a while. I think I know your stance on this because I think we've talked about it a little bit, but I want to know what you think about this question. Okay. Why do people like Drake? Like the rapper Drake. Like what's appealing about Drake?
I don't know. I don't think I could put myself in that mindset because I really hate Drake.
You really hate Drake. I really don't like Drake either. Not just as a person, as a musician. I've tried to listen to Drake music before. I don't see what the big. People lose their minds over Drake. They're like,
well, he's doing pandering. What I was literally just talking about.
Yeah.
He's a literally an honorary white guy from Canada. He's not black. He didn't grow up in the hood. He literally had a good life. He's a middle class, just dude. He didn't have any of that. And then he just really knows how to pander well, how to tell people what they want to hear about the life that they, like to hear about, or like, the image that they like to see. He's just really good at tapping into that, I guess, for a lot of people. That collective want.
Yeah. And even just like in a musical stance. What does he do? Like that you couldn't get. I don't know. His beats are like so.
He doesn't even, and it's like he doesn't write his own music. He doesn't make his own beats. Like he's nothing. That's why I don't like him. He doesn't have substance.
Out of 100 for Drake, gotta rate that dude an 11. Drake's favorite number is 11.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his favorite number is 11. He loves 11.
Pedophile joke.
He likes the number 11 a lot. It's his favorite number. If you could skip 1 through 10, he would just go straight to 11.
Also, I'm actually pretty hard line. I don't really consume media made by pedophiles if I'm knowledgeable of, or just like sketchy people that do sketchy things with young women. I'm usually not too interested. I'm able to be like, I don't really need to watch this. I don't need, like, it's better to just not support this. Like Michael Jackson, people are like, you don't like Michael Jackson? I'm like, nah, all the pedophile stuff, I don't, when I hear him go, just good thoughts don't come to my head. Images of him doing, just negative images come to my head of him, and I was just like, how can you listen to this guy's music when he's done? Same with Spacey. Like any of his movies, like I'm not gonna be able to get as into his performance or be like, oh, that was great because he did so good.
I watched Usual Suspects for the first time last year, and I was like, this is fine. And part of that I think was because it was a fine movie, and I knew the twist. Sorry, I knew the twist before watching the movie.
Kaiser Soze.
Kind of impossible to avoid that twist. But anyway, I think part of it was I was like, I don't enjoy watching you on screen because I know the kind of person that you are now, and I don't want to support that.
And even that, it's like, for me, it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than like, because I know there's a lot of people that'll be like, oh, I don't support. Just out of principle.
Mm-hmm.
They don't support something, or they don't watch things or buy things by certain people out of principle. It's literally more out of the fact that like seeing his creepy demeanor and the fact that he just played evil sociopaths all the time is now very uncomfortable for me because it's like he's not acting. He's literally just really he is the evil genius that is Kaiser Soze or the dude from Seven or freaking Frank Underwood. He is that.
Could you still watch Bug's Life?
Is he in Bug's Life?
He's Hopper.
Well, yeah, you don't see him.
That's fair.
And Bug's Life is like freaking great.
Yeah, Bug's Life is great.
Well, it's just because it's based off Seven Samurai. But
Bug's Life is based off Seven Samurai.
Yeah. There's literally 7 bugs.
Oh
that
no,
come
there
to the
is
village.
7
yep,
bugs.
It's literally 7 samurai.
No. Oh no, that's
to
funny.
a T. No, that's why it's great. When you watch it with that in mind, you're like, oh my god.
Can you watch? Can we animate Bug's Life in the style of Seven Samurai now?
Yeah, you're just.
I want to see it.
The stick bug with just like.
Well, he's the sword. That's our talk.
Stickle.
If you want to get
recommend. Oh, well, last new segment.
Oh, I got one more talking.
Oh yeah.
I got a talking point.
Before we do our new segment,
I was wrapping up. That's good. Watch stuff that is not safe. Well, so sorry.
Snuff films.
Yeah, watch just snuff films exclusively.
Dark web videos.
Films under $1,000 budget are really good.
Yeah, YouTube videos with less than 10 views.
Yeah, just go to YouTube, type in videos, and just sort by most recently uploaded. You should find some really great indie stuff there. Yeah. Okay. My last talking point, or my talking point that I brought to the tablet. Okay. I'll talk about comedy.
Comedy. Haha. Funny.
Funny laughing.
Funny laugh. Haha. Comedy.
Okay. This is a very vague one, but I just want to talk about the nature of comedy now, and what is like funny. Like, are people funny anymore? What I mean by that is like reference culture. So, for those of you, you probably have heard this, but you've never heard of it called reference culture, I bet.
Ooh, are you coining something?
I'm coining reference culture.
I wanted to coin a term.
This is the state of the world now, as I've experienced it, I'm sure you've experienced as well, where humor is associated to people based on their and your prior knowledge of a relatable thing. Basically, you can be a funny person as long as you and another person know about the same thing.
Facts.
Which used to be totally fine.
Facts.
Because you'd
trying to get your momentum.
Thanks.
Up here. Facts.
Back in the day, you know, if you knew something that someone else knew,
Facts.
That would just be like a talking point, and you'd get to know each other. You know. It's like a small talk thing. It's like, oh, you watch basketball? Cool. I also watch basketball.
Right.
But now, it's like, oh, dude.
Facts.
Ha, you've seen this Vine? I've seen that Vine too. Oh, dude, you're really funny. Cause you quoted that Vine. And it's like, no, you're not funny. You're not funny. You just know a thing that other people think is funny.
Trivia?
Facts. Are you frustrated by this as I am?
Yeah. Especially because, you know, it's getting to the point where I don't watch Vine. I don't know TikTok.
Yeah, I don't.
That stuff isn't even funny anyway, and people reference it and use it as humor, and it's just growing away. Humor is just going.
Not even that. Just like, I think this goes into my thoughts on authenticity, being like a real person, because nobody's like real. Not often anymore.
Really real.
Really, really real. I'm real. I'm real. I'm really, really
real. Hey, that's real, dude.
That's really real.
I'm not even real, bro. I'm fake. I'm a fake person.
Dude, I'm not even here right now.
I'm not even here right now. I'm a total fraud.
I'm intangible. You can't even see me.
I'm intangible, like an animal, young cannibal. Am I spitting fine?
Yes, spitting.
In bars. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, people who watch The Bachelor.
Haha, comedy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even that it's comedy. It's like, oh my gosh, Jefferson.
And then when she kissed his,
Oh, you remember when Michael talked to Dwight? Oh, they're so funny.
When Michael goes, I'm gonna kill myself.
Huh? That's relatable. I wish I was dead.
Remember when Kevin dropped the chili? Ha ha ha
That's
ha.
funny.
Next
funny.
person walks in the group. Hey, did you see The Office when Kevin dropped the chili? Ha 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 ha.
And then I'm here. And I am of the mindset I would like to be as real as I can around people. I'm trying to get better at that. It's hard. It's kind of tough because everyone around, for the most part, is very agreeable and very, you know, like these are the 3 things I like. Everyone around me likes the same 3 things. And if anyone else likes anything else, they're strange. I like The Office.
Oh, strange.
I like Kanye's new album. And I like coffee, and I'm always tired.
Yeah, what's with this strange, dude? Like it's like, oh, you watch such strange, obscure movies. You just watch such strange. It's like it's not strange. It's just a little out there. It's just creative.
Yeah,
it's different.
It's like you ever
it's
been?
Not strange. It's just different. It's just something you haven't seen before. So you go, oh, that's weird. I haven't seen this before.
It's almost like we're passionate and interested in something.
You know? People don't have. I actually saw some interesting statistics back in a lot of what you're up. Mm-hmm. It says people in our generation, especially, don't have hobbies. They don't have interests. They don't go out. Like it's a lot of like just like basic human things are just kind of lost to people in our generation because we're so inundated with new technology that we have no clue how to handle or balance our lives with. Mm-hmm. So yeah, people don't have like. I've asked people like, you got any hobbies? You know, you do anything for fun? And it's like, oh, look at memes on my phone. I watch Netflix, or like, it's like
I just consume
what the
all day.
That's not a hobby. That's how you pass time when you have nothing to do. That's like.
Yeah.
Like you should kind of feel guilty about that because you're like, oh, I'm kind of just passing time, just burning through time, not doing anything productive. Mm-hmm. But you know, hey, it's my day off. You know, you should always be doing something enriching, like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be creative. I'm gonna make something, or I'm gonna make little planes. Yeah. Just do anything.
It's kind of like people have been like relegated to like permanent small talk. All people do is like the most surface level conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they're talking about other people. Literally, that's it. Like, they'll be like, are you tired? Me too. I'm so sleepy. I need to drink more coffee. Like, that's all conversation is. And then they'll be like, oh, did you see what Becky, is Becky into me? Like, that's, you know what I mean?
People will get
like that.
Even like deep interpersonal.
Yeah.
Like, but they won't be right. They won't be right about the observations they're making about, you know, people's emotional states or, you know, why they act the way they act.
Yeah.
They're just saying stuff, you know. That's how all this drama happens.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she said this because she is jealous of you. They can get into this like deep holes of like human emotion, but it's like as soon as you bring up anything slightly metaphysical or out there in thought.
Oh, well, see, I know exactly the type of person that she is, so I know what she meant when she said this offhand comment about you. I know exactly what she meant. That's fine. I don't have to ask her. Like, that's what she meant.
Yeah, that's what she meant.
And I know what you mean, too. I know everything you're going to say, because, like, I know the kind of person you are.
Yeah. Well, it is hard to have conversations with people, though. I found at school, you know, definitely if, like, you know, there's, like, just a convo going on, like, people will say like, oh, I've so many people have been like, wow, you're like really deep, and then been like, I can't talk to you anymore because I can't mentally get to the place that you're at, and you're kind of tripping me out. Or like when people are like, you're blowing my mind, and it's like I literally just said something that like isn't even that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like or I like example, it's like, hey, did you know that, there's proof that says, evolution of ape to man, like, that's not the theory. Like, there's human teeth older than that, so that's out of the book. There's something else happened.
Yeah.
And like even then people are like, oh, that's too far, bro. That's too trippy. It's like you can't even get into that. Like you can't even really talk without, because the one thing you did know, evolution, it got swept out from under you, and now you're just nothing. Like you can't even guess. You can't even use your imagination a bit. People can't guess. They can't use their imagination. They can't analyze.
You want my raw opinion on something that I just heard about? I can't do that.
I gotta watch a video.
I need to hear someone else think something for me, and then I'll go tell you.
Hey, did Joe Rogan talk about that? Maybe I'll listen to his podcast so we can talk.
I'll quote you the thing that this guy said, and then that's what I think about that. But comedy, are people funny anymore? I don't know. There's a couple people that are still funny.
I think people are gonna get funnier. I think we're gonna get a stretch of just non-funniness, and then because that's how humor is. Like it just explodes out of. Like especially with the way people are repressing speech and like don't want you to be able to tell certain jokes and stuff. Like I think it's gonna get to a point where like it's gonna get bad. All the popular comedians like it's just like will just be all these like squares and just like everyone's gonna be like, wait, this isn't funny anymore. And then they're like, oh yeah, here's the comedians again. Like they're telling the same jokes they've always done. All right, let's go back.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I mean with technology, man, like Twitter, TikTok, all that like. It's good. It's all gonna get worse. I mean, as you hang around older people, it'll probably get better because they all.
Yeah. Imagine, like, identifying as like a TikToker. Imagine being that low in life.
What's your hobby?
What do you do?
TikTok.
I usually make some TikToks. You make some TikToks. What do you TikTok? Oh, just like me dancing in my room. Oh, okay, you're one of those.
And the final self-help tip, get off your freaking phone, dog. Literally relegate it to like an hour or two a day. They have a new function on the new iPhone update called Screen Time where you can set the amount of time you spend on your phone. Like, it's not healthy. It's not good for you to spend 6 hours a day on Twitter reading people complain about everything in life. Do something else. Like, read a book. Like, you're still reading. Like, you must love reading if you're reading Reddit and Twitter and Instagram all day. All you're doing is reading. Read a book. You'll get a lot more out of it. I guarantee you, like, it's honestly like this for most people. Most people, when they pick up a book, any book that's like remotely good and they read it, they're like, wow,
that was a great book.
They're like, books are crazy. Like, they could be, but then, it's hard to get into and people will just not read more. Like, they might put it down, but like,
yeah,
that's something that you definitely. It doesn't really matter what you pick up. Like usually, it's pretty deep.
Yeah,
because just writing lends itself to be that way.
Yeah, I don't know. People are frustrating. I'm sure I'll complain about people.
We're lost
later on. More podcasts. That's all I have to say about
We're
that
back.
for right now.
We're fed up. We're angry.
We're angry.
It's the angry
podcast.
podcast.
The angry season.
But hey, we got some recommendations for you guys.
Yeah.
But of course, we're not talking about you listeners. We all know that you guys are all geniuses and good people. Good people. Wonderful people. The best people I know. You're the best. You're the best people I know.
Amazing people.
Best, most amazingest, bestest people. The least stupid people that ever existed in the history of the world.
This isn't a.
That's you, the people who listen to this show.
I don't want to get into this too much, but it just made me think of Bernie Sanders. Did you see that video of Elizabeth Warren and him?
Yeah.
Where she is clearly on a mic and she knows it, and she's like, "You called me a liar on TV," and Bernie's like, "I don't want to get into this right now."
Yeah, I could get into this right now. We'll do this later.
And she's like, "But you did." And he's like, "No."
Hey, Bernie, can I say hi? No, do this later.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
That's a real boy move, bro.
No, I don't want to shake your hand.
Just want to shout you out.
All right, here, we'll talk about one more thing.
Okay.
Man, I found a new love for politics, but I think that's because I found a new lens for politics. Don't take it seriously, folks. Because in the end, it's going to sway the way it sways. You really have no control over it. Stop lying to yourself. Your vote don't matter. Come on, guys. Every vote counts. You have to raise your voice as an American. Come on, guys. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen the way... And I think the wheel's going to keep turning. No matter what we have a government that's made in a way that like it can't get anything done, so no one can really destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing they added there. So this new lens I got is it's not serious. It actually doesn't even matter. It's actually more of a reality television. If there's any reality television I watch, it's just politics. It's C-SPAN, baby. Like
C-SPAN.
because like something like that warrants that's so fake. It's so like you could tell like all the big money interests, all these people are planning behind it, and it's just funny. Yeah. It's just like laughable. It's just like these people, they're so pathetic. They're so out of touch. It's just these old geezers just like arguing like, you called me a liar. I don't want to talk about this. It's like that is literally a geriatric home encounter right there. You called me a liar in front of the whole bingo team. I don't want to talk about this. I gotta take my pills. Alone. I gotta go take Excedrin.
Bernie, I want to say hello.
Hey, get out of my face. About it. Bernie, I'm your son. I have Alzheimer's. Get away from me.
Get away. I love Bernie. He's a funny guy.
So that's another thing. A lot of people stressed out, way too caught up in it. Man, just sit back, relax, and realize, hey, it don't matter. In fact, it's actually kind of funny. It's a funny time. Like if you think, like some people like are actually getting depression, and like because of Trump, because they're just so like the world is gonna end because of this guy. It's like, all right, take a breath. Hold on. This guy's in office. Mm-hmm. Just get past that. Just be like, all right, whatever you think about that, it happened. But hey. Just look at what he does. It's literally so funny. It's literally the funniest thing. Just watch one of his speeches. He's literally hilarious. He actually does like stand-up comedy routines on his tours sometimes. It's insane. It's madness. It is the best madness that you just watch because what does it mean in the end, right?
Yeah, I can see that. That's the most politics we'll ever talk on the show.
Unless there's total meme moments. That's the only political thing we'll talk about is total memer moments.
Okay. Recommendations. This is a new thing we're doing. We're gonna bring up something that the other person hasn't seen or watched, or maybe we have seen or watched, and we're gonna see it or listen to it, or both, for next podcast, and then we're gonna talk about it in that one. And you at home can do the same.
Yeah, and then you'll know next time what we're talking about.
So retroactive, this isn't my official one, but watch Blindspotting. We talked about it a lot today. You should watch that one. But anyway, we're gonna do a movie, or we're gonna do like a song, or like an album, or an artist, or something in the music world. So we're gonna do one of those. So I have a song. I'm gonna figure out which movie I wanted to say.
I got a movie.
Okay.
All right. So, you like musicals?
Yes.
You like the Swedes?
Yes.
You like glamour nightclub culture?
Yes. You like jazz?
You like mermaids and fairy tales?
Sure.
Well, then you'll love The Lure.
The Lure.
The Lure is a little flick that was made in the last decade, I believe, like in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it is about two mermaids.
Two mermaids.
Who wash up on the shore in Sweden.
Mm.
And they get a job at this strip club in Sweden. And it's a super dope movie. It's kind of like horror / It's a very interesting vibe. It's very unique. You'll be like, oh, okay. And it's like, it's got a lot of like kind of disco-y kind of like, think of Get Lucky, that kind of music kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
A lot of that like, some of that groove, funk, like that's the vibe a lot. And it's like kind of romance, kind of horror, kind of musical as well, which is kind of like, whoa. All
interesting. Right. Okay. The Lure. I'll have to watch that one.
It's strange. I can't have you tap out, Justin.
I won't. I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it. You gotta watch this one.
Oh, and all those kids at home, you can't watch that movie. Way too inappropriate.
Figure
too inappropriate. Go censored. It's rated R, I think.
Look up the movie and then figure out if you can watch it now.
Yeah, no, there's adult content.
Yeah.
No.
No. Can't do that.
No adult content. No.
Okay. All right. My movie that I have for you today. Little movie called Synecdoche, New York.
Synecdoche, baby.
I'll spell that one out for you. It's SY. Are you writing this down with your quill and ink? Do you have your feather? Light a candle.
Synec.
SYN
Uh-huh.
EDOCHE, comma. New.
Synecdoche?
Oh, there's a C in the middle of the D and the E. Synecdoche.
Synecdoche?
Yeah. Let's see if you spell it.
Ah!
Well, I'll tell you about it while you're spelling it.
Technology! Ah!
Tech. Okay, Synecdoche,
Are
New
you
York.
kidding me? It literally won't let me. Oh, Jesus. All right. What?
Synecdoche, New York is written and directed. This is his first directing film by Charlie Kaufman, who has done Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Adaptation, Being John Malkovich, all these very, insightful, really weird out there kind of, philosophical, introspective movies. Those are all great, the ones I just said. This is his first movie he directed, so Spike Jonze didn't direct this one. But he directed this one. And I honestly cannot tell you the plot.
I love movies
movie.
like
Like, I really, trying to recap what happens in this movie is so difficult. I'm taking this one from Karsten Runquist. Go watch that dude on YouTube. He describes it as, it's a guy has a midlife crisis for his entire life. And you watch this guy do it. It's got Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. He's the main character. And it's really like, yeah, it talks about death a lot. Like death is like the main theme of the movie.
I guess.
It's a extremely depressing kind of empty feeling.
Oh
movie.
yeah, that's what I like to hear.
It's also really funny at times. It's like a Charlie Kaufman movie,
Yeah.
But it's got a it's really great. The soundtrack is really good. Yeah, I won't say anything else. Synecdoche, New York. Also an adult content one. Don't watch that one if you're a kid.
And musical recommendations. So, I have a little album. You don't have to listen to the whole thing, but
Okay.
the first few tracks are pretty good. It's called "The Suburbs" by Arcade Fire.
Arcade Fire. I've heard of these guys.
Yeah. They're known for their egregiously large live band.
Yes.
And it's just watch the music video for "The Suburbs." Very good, very powerful, very emotional.
Okay.
But it's just it's you'd relate to it. It's just an album about growing up in the suburbs and becoming an adult.
Okay.
Living out, in the endless houses and just that life that comes along with this. We're from the suburbs.
Yeah.
You don't know. The burbs.
The Burbs.
We're from the burbs.
Yeah. Okay. Arcade Fire. The Suburbs. My laptop is falling asleep.
No, that's not what it's called.
No. That's not right.
My laptop is falling asleep.
No. I got an album for you. It's called Skylight by Pine Grove.
Skylight by Pine S.
Pine Grove.
Pine S. That's what I said.
By Pine S. Ha!
Haha, get it?
Oh, I get
Pine
it.
S.
That's funny.
Haha, funny
Laugh comedy.
Laugh.
Yeah, my dad recommended this one to me.
Oh, okay, a little dad music.
My dad was like, we saw this. My dad's in a band. Shout out American Catapult.
Hey, the boys.
Yeah, they went to go see Pine Grove live, and he came back and he sent me the link to this album. He's like, "You'd like this," and so I listened to it. I was like, "Actually, I
like
love
this."
The thing is that I love this. It's really great. It's just some music. We were talking about not like consumerism and all that stuff. This one just feels like an album. It's just some good rock, some good relaxed rock to be sure. A lot of tempo changes, which are nice. yeah, it's just some good indie rock. It's short. It's like 10 songs long. It's like 30 minutes. It's not too bad. That's my music thing.
And the painting I would like to recommend, Boy with Apple. Elegant.
Boy with Apple. Who's Gustav A?
The rest of the stuff is useless garbage. Anyway, a few references there. Don't worry about it, kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Wait, I have a painting I want to recommend.
Oh.
There's this wonderful painting of the future, sponsored by a company named Marjam.
If you can find it, you'll love it.
If you can find
like
this
a
painting,
Marjam futuristic painting.
I guarantee you, if you see this painting, you will definitely comment on it.
You will be like, dang, that was
That's
cool,
a great
guys.
painting.
Thank you for recommending that to me.
Find that painting.
I'm serious. Everyone I've ever shown this painting is like, that's dope.
Yeah, so find that painting for sure. That's the end. That's all I got. That's all I got. Thank you for listening. I almost said watching. I guess you did watch because you're on YouTube.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, for future episodes, just kind of pull this one up. Pull it on a tab. Minimize your window. Open up a new tab. Get some
private tab. Not safe for work.
Get some work.
You know how we run it.
Yeah,
that was meant.
Get some work done. Get some other stuff.
If you're walking to class, or you're driving to school or work, you're delivering pizzas.
What? Yeah. Next time we'll talk about the lure and the suburbs and Synecdoche, New York, and Skylight. And we'll also talk about some more stuff.
And you get a prize if you can find
if you can find this Marjam painting.
This Marjam painting, and
send us a picture of it.
Send us a link in a YouTube comment, then you get a prize.
Oh, and make it a real link. Don't link some
I'll give
virus
malware
or something. I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, but if you can find me a Marjam painting, I'm down to watch that one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you later. Good night. I mean, this is the morning. Good morning, but good night.